learned 5 new presidents. We left off with Abraham Lincoln. He was president number 16. That was the last president we talked about. So now we're going to do president number 17. And number 17, his name was Andrew. And his last name was Jackson. His name was Andrew Jackson. Now, Andrew Jackson was president number 17. And a fun fact about him is that he never went to school. Never. His wife had to teach him how to write when he was 17 years old. So think of you guys right now. Think about how much you've learned, how much you can read, how much you can write. He didn't even go to school. And
that's why he didn't learn.
His wife just didn't teach him how to write until he was 17, because that's probably when he got married. And he was also the first president to be buried. When he died, he was buried and he was wrapped in an American flag. So he really loved our country, and so he wanted to show how much he loved his country by being wrapped in an American flag. So I guess pretty much that was the only fun facts about him. Okay, number 18. Question, Wyatt.
We just had an Andrew Jackson.
We had Andrew Johnson.
What? Yeah, Andrew.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is where we said that wrong. We had Andrew Jackson. This is Andrew Johnson. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I was like, what?
I'm sorry.
Andrew.
They're so similar. What I meant was Andrew Johnson was his name. Andrew Jackson is actually right above him. He was 7. Johnson is 17. Sorry about that. Number 18. This guy, his name was Ulysses S Grant. And Ulysses S Grant was president number 18. And he was the first president to be arrested when he was president for going too fast while riding his horse. So when he was president, he got arrested.
That's weird.
Nowadays, if your mom or dad go too fast, most of the time they might get a warning or they might get a ticket. Normally they won't get arrested because they'll just get a ticket. This guy, when he was president, he was arrested because he was going too fast on his horse, and then they also gave him a ticket. He had to pay $20 because he was going too fast on his horse. Yeah, $20. Right now, $20 would be not a lot of money, but back then $20 was like a lot of money. He was known as a very honest man, but you know how you guys can trust other people? He wasn't very good about trusting other people because other people that he trusted were usually not good people. So he was not a good person to judge others because he kind of didn't judge the best people. He kind of found the not so good people. Okay? All right. Number 19 was Rutherford B Hayes. Now, this is cool. He was the first president to have a phone to use. So they didn't have phones until he was president. And if you wanted to call the president, his phone number was 1.
What?
1, and that was it. So if you wanted to call the president at that time, you would pick up the phone, if you had a phone. Not a lot of people had phones because they were expensive. But you would dial the number 1, and that would call the president. And also, some people wanted him, he was president for 4 years. Some people wanted him to go for another 4 years because when you're president, you can go for 8 years. But he decided that, 4 years was enough. I just want to retire. And nowadays, presidents, most of the time, they want to go for 8 years. So he was just content with being president for 4 years. Raylan.
Sound like you said Rutherford B Hayes.
Rutherford B Hayes. Rutherford. Rutherford is his first name.
What's his last name?
B is his middle name or initial, and then Hayes is his last name. Hayes.
You said it all together.
Yeah, I kind of said it fast. Rutherford B Hayes. So I'll say it slower. Rutherford B is his middle name, initial, and then Hayes. Wyatt.
So when he was president, so like one person would be like to their little kid, no, you're a bad boy. You shouldn't eat candy. So then they'll just call the president. I'm gonna call the president.
Wow. If they had a phone, Wyatt. If they did.
Sorry to disturb you, President, but
Yeah.
my kid is eating candy.
Guess what, Wyatt? A lot of people back then didn't have phones. Just important people had phones. Brooklyn.
When you said can you like before what is it?
Phone?
Yeah, no, over one, that one.
Andrew Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson, our teacher's name,
Exactly.
Miss
You know what?
Johnson,
I'm
and
sitting
that's
right under
her
headphones.
last name. Because only teachers can have the last name.
Great.
So,
Same last name.
are they related to each other?
That is a question you would have to ask Mrs. Johnson next Wednesday when you go there.
Oh.
Mason.
My cousin has Santa's phone number.
Oh, okay. All right,
And
two
his
more presidents.
address.
This president, number 20, his name was James A. That's his middle initial, and then Garfield. So think of Garfield the cat. So James A. Garfield. Now, this is the second president. James A. Garfield is the second president to be assassinated. Who remembers what assassinated means? Raylan?
Like you got
Somebody else
killed you.
killed you. Somebody else killed you. So he didn't get sick and die. Somebody else killed him. Now, he's the fourth president, though, to die. Remember, there was two other presidents that died because they got sick? Yep. He's the fourth one to die while president. And at that time, all the people in our nation were like shocked. They just could not believe this because he was an honest man. He was a good man, and they couldn't believe that anyone would want to hurt him. Now, this is a really fun fact. James A. Garfield could write with both hands at the same time. Now, listen to this. He would do one hand, like in one language. So let's say he wrote in English. That's what we write in, English. And then the other hand, he could write in another language. So let's just pretend it was Spanish.
Japanese.
So he could write English with one hand, Spanish with the other hand at the same time. Do you guys think you could do that? No way.
I don't want
No way.
I can't even do Japan because
Yeah. I'm not sure what the languages were, but it just says two different languages. This is how he was shot. He was going through Washington, D.C., and he was at a railroad station, and somebody shot and killed him. He did survive for 80 days. So almost 3 months.
That's a long time.
But then he died. Yeah.
Well, he was lucky.
One more fact is that this guy, he changed his pants several times a day. But listen,
fashionist.
I guess he wanted to be a fashion. He had 80 pairs of pants.
Oh my
goodness. I'm 150.
80.
Hour.
I got 10,000.
Wyatt.
I thought sort of two things. I thought the first one is I thought John F. Kennedy was the second to be assassinated. And the other thing is, so you know how he lived 80 days?
What do you mean, how did he live?
He lived 80 days after being shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he had 80 pairs of pants.
Well, that was
80 pairs of pants.
Now you'll remember that, right?
Sorry.
Okay, the last president we're going to talk about today is president number 21. His name is Chester. A is his middle name, and then Arthur is his last name. Now, oh guys, guess what? I told you the wrong fact. Not that president, but this president had 80 pairs of pants. Sorry. sorry about that.
What?
I'm sorry. I read it wrong. So this president had 80 pairs of pants, and he was his wife had died before he was president, and his daughter was only 10 years old when he became president. So his sister did the duties of the first lady. So again, this president didn't have a wife because his wife had died. He did have a daughter, but she was only 10 years old. So his sister ended up helping him. And
I feel bad.
this guy,
Me too.
Like that.
I just
How do
this
they
is another interesting fact. Once he became president, he learned that he had a disease with his kidneys and that he was dying, but he never told anybody about it. And after he left office, he died 1 year later from that.
That's really good.
So even though he was president, he had this disease. He didn't tell anybody. He kept doing his duties as president. And then once his term ended, he died a year later from this. So he didn't live very long. He was only 56 when he died. Raylan.
That's actually not
You've already done John F. Kennedy?
Nope, we have not done John F. Kennedy.
Why say that then?
He was saying that he thought he was the second president to be assassinated.
Oh.
But he wasn't. This guy, which guy was it? Rutherford B Hayes, he was the second to be assassinated. Okay,
How about you just go ahead and
I'm gonna move on later, okay? Alright, now we're gonna stop with these 5 presidents. We're gonna do 5 more tomorrow. We're about halfway done. And yes, I'll keep moving them, and eventually I think I'm gonna put them over there. Or on the